Okay, I'm going to start on this M15 because it's kind of interesting. So we had this trendline break on low time frame, right? That we kind of drew. Had a retest here, and it failed. Kind of building a trading range in this horizontal range here, but starting to get away from it, putting in higher low here, higher low, then higher low, and then maybe even this higher low slash double bottom, potentially bull flag. And if we're looking on the 5-minute chart, this is a strong pump. And I think when we were at this stage, after this pump on this candle, I was thinking if we break above this candle 62.5, it's probably a buy, and it's probably going to be a buy to at least this region. Probably one of those buys where you put your stop at break even. One of those things where, like, if it breaks above 62.5, I'm just so confident I know that it's going to go for at least 100 or a couple $100 that I can move my stop to break even at that point. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. And if it happens to go farther than we expect, then that would be sick. So it didn't happen. We had this inside bar and then we broke out below it. But then this strong buyback here, and then a bar that the subsequent bar even breaches that high. Subsequent bar seems to be all buying so far, and it's about to close as well. So that's looking pretty decent. Here, we actually on 30 minutes ago, I guess, put in a high one, and then kind of broke below that. Didn't necessarily take a new low. So technically, this is a high one pullback. It's not a high two, but this has already taken the high of this candle. So I would think, yeah, probably a decent chance to at the very least, double top over here. With pretty much, yeah, 1-to-1 here. And like I said, if I was to take a trade like this, possible that I just move things to break even, because really you don't want to see like pump up here and then it stalls. I hate when this gets in the way. Really don't want to see when it like kind of pumps up here and then stalls and then comes back here and then starts being in this area, because it could very easily just go up here, but it could also just as easily kind of go like this and start building a trading range such that now, with this being your stop, you don't feel comfortable with this being your stop because you're in such a tight trading range that then you feel like you need to move your stop down here or even down here. But at that point, what is your profit target? If you're going to move your stop to down here, you have to also accommodate to move your profit target up here. And once you get this kind of sideways price action following this one leg down, I don't feel as comfortable making my profit target here, and I certainly don't feel so super comfortable making it higher. So this is one of those where, yeah, if it just comes back to origin where you entered, if you enter at like at 62,526 here, just above this candle, and it comes back to that, you probably just want to get out because you're not going to have a great stop elsewhere, and you're definitely not going to have a good setup if it comes back on you. If you're taking this trade, you really just want it to go straight up. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about that. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, we had kind of a similar thing going on here, where we had this inside bar here and then an inside bar of that, so an inside bar. And we were thinking, you want to probably take the breakout of this inside bar for at least a little bit of a push upward, maybe to at least this region would have been the trade. And because it's an II, there's a pretty reasonable probability that you don't even get to your profit target. So if you're making this your profit target, it's pretty reasonable that you maybe only get to this level before it comes and reverses back down on you. So it isn't to say that we were setting this up because we wanted to take this trade. I didn't really want to take this trade, and this is kind of the same type of thing. Like with an inside bar, your stop is going to be right underneath the inside bar. So technically, you're somewhat safe-ish. You don't have too much risk because you know that if we pop out above, it and then reverse back, this is probably going to be your final flag, and then probably going to get maybe like 2 legs down. And we don't want to risk all the way down here because we don't even have that much room from up here to down here. 2%, $90. all the way to up here, this high is half that. So horrendous, horrendous, horrendous trade. I mean, risk reward scenario. So instead we get this break downward, and if we flip it over here, maybe it's kind of looking like a breakout and then kind of a pullback. This is some like exhaustion, enough exhaustion by bulls. 1, 2, 3. Also, we had this kind of like spike and then channel, super low time frame here. And honestly, I don't even really like this, but if you look at it like that, you have kind of a spike and channel end to this with this trend line here that you can draw and have 1, 2, 3 pushes, and this third push is sustained. That's kind of the point of the spike and channel. It's not to say that we have a spike in a strong channel, but it's more to say that it's a sustained third push. And really on this low time frame, you can kind of see it 1, 2, 3 pushes down following this spike. If you say that the spike ends, if we consider the spike to be these two candles, then following that, the next 3 bars, 1, 2, 3, all try to take new lows and somewhat sidewaysy action here. If we look at it on lower time frame, yeah, so you kind of have your thing ending here, and then pull back, 1 push down, little sideways chop for a second push down, and then comes back up for a third push down. So then maybe we're expecting 2 legs out. So we get the 2 legs out here, and then these are strong enough and pushing back enough into this range that following this sideways movement and where bulls really can't get anything done. Man, I keep coming back to this 44.40 entry because it really was the only opportunity potentially for bulls to make some money. And because that fails, you expect more push. And this was a quite strong leg. This ends up being a much stronger leg than this one. So maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of thing if you are into Elliott's like that. And yeah, the whole point of all of that was to say that maybe this is the pullback, and now we kind of want to take another shot to this 43.30 range, and this would be exactly the bar to. This would be exactly the setup bar, this bar right here. And you sell below it, and this is your entry bar. We're going to just put this right here and see how it goes. I'm not taking this trade because it is at the trend line. Just because we have this sharp push into the trend line doesn't mean that we're going to continue downward. It is, of course, still likely that we should get a bounce at the trend line. So I'm not taking this trade, but this is the concept for a bearish, for a short here. We had this push and then this little bounce back and then a push to follow through. And your stop is going to be above here because it's possible that we get a bounce here, double top, and then go down. So stop is a little bit higher. You could, I guess, put your stop all the way up here just because after the strength of this push up, it's possible that we get a second weak leg that goes kind of like to here or something like that. And then you get the second sell signal. This was your first sell signal in this area. But because it's coming out of this I think it is somewhat likely that we try and put in 2 legs right now. So we will keep an eye on this and see how it's looking on the next candle. But yeah, the hourly same thing with Bitcoin here. This is kind of like your sell signal. Oops, let's just do it here. In fact, this is kind of your final leg down inside of the channel. 1, 2, 3 pushes. 3 pushes to the top of this channel, and then potentially breaking off this channel potentially looking for a shot at this area. Strong push, 1, 2, 3 pushes up, a little bit of a pullback. Maybe we get another pullback to this area and then take another shot up. But again, this is quite strong. It reversed this whole region, right? All of the buying that occurred, all of the selling, sorry, that occurred in these, how many ever bars, 10, 12 bars, all in 1.5 candles reversed. So that's pretty strong. That's pretty sharp. That, of course, is now getting reversed as well, but would not be surprised to see a little bit more buying before more selling. And this is kind of in that area, again, where you kind of maybe want to be buying above, you kind of feel like you want to be buying above bars, above any bar, but at the same time, kind of putting in a channel here, so don't necessarily want to be buying at the top of the channel. This bar was strong enough through from the top all the way to the bottom of the channel that if we were able to break above it on this bar and continue above it on the next bar, that would be pretty strong. And I would definitely think then that we're taking a shot towards this high, if not even higher. Which is why definitely not interested in taking a short here right now. Although I suppose that is technically the trade that we have that is currently active, that is just activated. Other than that, yeah, maybe bulls who really like the strength of this, looking for a pullback, maybe just waiting to buy down here, kind of a double bottom type situation, and then a pump. That would be a really nice look, like this. That would be fine by me. That would be great. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. The thing is that the 1 hour chart. Did we ever even go into the 1 hour chart? I'm not sure. The 1 hour chart, trading range, clear trading range, right? So we have to see about how we can get out of this range. And currently, bear's trying to put in that second chance pullback short. This was the trigger. The short triggered on this one, on the 1 hour chart. The short triggered here, stop up here. Target, yeah, maybe down here somewhere. Maybe if you're really aggressive, you want to go down here, but at the very least to probably the bottom of the channel. And this bar was horrible follow through off of your entry, but you get a nice little pullback bar, and hopefully, bears might be adding a little bit more underneath this bar, which happens to coincidentally be pretty much the exact same place where you entered initially from. So maybe they want to add more size here and hope for a little bit of a dump. But yeah, we're in a somewhat clear trading range, and I think that the ways out of the trading range are, one, this pullback fails and we trade above it, in which case bulls are probably getting activated. Just because you're going to have 2 attempts down by bears, and then they're definitely going to be closing out of their shorts, kind of probably above this area. They might not even wait all the way till up here, because at that point you're getting near the top of the channel. They might even just cut above this bar, above the pullback bar. And certainly if they start to cut above the pullback bar, we have a high likelihood of hitting this bar, which gives us a high likelihood of busting through both and taking a shot at the high of the channel. So I think that would be the trade that we're kind of looking at, is a bearish failure here and looking to push up higher. Certainly because of us being in this channel and the strength of this push and the strength of this push, we're definitely looking for longs over shorts right now. So that's why I'm not taking any of these shorts that are kind of activating. And in fact, on Ethereum, we actually had a horrendous close here. That's why I guess it makes a little more sense to consider shorting Ethereum, because we're kind of near the end of this, and we did have this trend line get broken with the higher high test and a strong pushback by bears. Bears could easily send it back into this 4250 range. Whereas the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin is the bottom of the trend line on Bitcoin is all the way down here, 61.6. If we move down from 62.5, 62.6, or whatever this is, 62.3 right now, to 61.6, 61.5 area, Bitcoin will still be bullish. But if we do move down, Ethereum's not just going to sit up here, right? Ethereum's going to dump a little bit too. And if it dumps and breaks this trend line, that's not so great for Ethereum. And of course, we still have this bottom of this range here, which has a lot of taps, and as far as being support / resistance. So this is definitely some sort of a magnet. I wish I knew where the magnet thing was in here so I could just draw it, but I'll have to find that another time. We can pretend this is a magnet. You know, this is going to be a magnet to try and draw us down here. So if Bitcoin starts to break down a little bit, definitely could see Ethereum test the low of this trading range before going higher. So yeah, that's what we are going to go with for now, and we will check up again in about an hour. Probably going to be watching these 15-minute candles just to see how things are going, because if this just turns red and goes down, I think it could be a strong, sharp candle, like this very candle. And if not, it could potentially start the rounding of the bottom of the channel, which may not necessarily give us too much upside, but probably on Ethereum, probably going to look to have some more upside up. So yeah. All right, man. Thanks for watching, yo.